Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I think we already did Kirtan, so we'll now do the Mangalacharan prayers first, and then we'll start. ॐ अज्ञान्तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतापादकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुव्यवच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो। जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, जय वैष्णव वृंद की जय। Thank you everyone, all devotees, for joining. Welcome to the systematic study of Bhagavad Gita as it is, written by our dear Acharya Srila Prabhupada, and he has taken all the effort to teach us by writing from Sanskrit to English, so we can, at least I haven't studied Sanskrit, so at least I can learn. Whoever doesn't understand Sanskrit, they can understand by reading his books and studying his books. So we'll start. First of all, just wanted to thank you, Damodar Hari Prabhu and Nandrani Priya Mataji, for giving me opportunities to teach the classes they have conducted in the past. And thank you to their deities. They are allowing us to serve here on the background. If I don't know, I'll show you in the end again, whoever joined late. Now, we have so far studied this 7th chapter, 20 verses. So in the past, the 1 year, Damodar Hari Prabhu has extensively covered the Karma Yoga section, and here is a quick summary. I will not spend a lot of time going details, but we talked about 6 chapters of Karma Yoga in there, and it's a brief summary is written here. If anybody is interested, I share. And then right now we are into the Bhakti Yoga section. Bhakti Yoga section covers another 6 chapters. We are on the very first chapter, and it's called Bhakti Yoga, knowledge of absolute. So this has total six, 5 sections total, and we are on the fifth section. The first 3 verses talks about the glory of the Lord, glory of the knowledge about the Lord Krishna, where hearing is the first principle he talked about, and he talked about phenomenal and numinous knowledge. Material world knowledge and more knowledge beyond material world. Then second section covers about the knowledge about Krishna's energy. So we talked, Krishna explains the energy of material energy, which is the external energy of Krishna. And second energy is called living entity, which is Tathastha Shakti. So this is the two energies in Krishna introduced here. And then Krishna explains he is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of this universe. Then Krishna also talks about Krishna is all pervasive, he's everywhere, he's essence of everything, and he's beyond the modes. So there Krishna explains about where Krishna lies. He is beautifully explains all the verses. Then we'll speak more on the fifth section. So that's why I'm just summarizing. And then Krishna, third section, Krishna speaks about surrendering unto Krishna who surrenders. The 4 types of people who do not surrender, 4 types of people who surrender. Krishna also says all the jivas living in the material mode, material world are under the modes, and by surrendering to Krishna, they can overcome. Then those who surrender to Krishna are magnanimous, and Gyani is the best of them. So Krishna talks about the 4 people who surrender to Krishna and who is the best. And pure devotee is extremely rare. Bhunam
So four
Janmana.
types of people.
4 types of people who does not surrender to Krishna, and 4 types of people who surrender to Krishna. The 4 types of people who does not, can anybody, because you have heard the classes, so I want to open up for whoever can share. Who are the people who surrender to Krishna, and who are the people who do not surrender to Krishna?
One who is in distress surrenders to Krishna.
Yes.
One who is looking for absolute knowledge of the absolute surrenders to Krishna.
Yes. Jigyasu.
Jignasha, yes, Prabhu. Yeah, those are 2 on top of it.
Yeah. So, Artho, Artharthi, Artho, Artharthi, Artha, Artharthi, Jnani, and Jigyasu. Jigyasu and Jnani. So, yes, Prabhu said rightly that whoever is distressed, whoever is seeking for wealth. The third one is who is inquisitive, and fourth one is who is seeking, who is in knowledge.
The Artho, right?
Artho, Artharthi. So here,
Arti. Arti means distress.
yeah. So we'll go there.
People are requesting with Aarti.
This is the Madhav Chandra Prabhu covered these verses.
In Pragya Mataji class, in
Yes.
home, like we have session happened.
Yes.
That time Madhav Chandra Prabhu explained like
Okay.
type of people
Okay.
who
Yeah.
do not approach God.
So this is Artho. Okay. So among the best Bhartas, 4 kind of pious men begin to surrender the devotional service unto me. There is distress, desire of wealth, inquisitive, and who is searching for the knowledge of the absolute. So these are the 4 people surrender to Krishna.
Where does he talk about the bhakti, the one who
Yes.
prays and
So
because
that is
those
the
people
next
surrender
verse.
a lot, right?
That's the next verse, right?
Okay.
One who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in the pure devotional service is the best among them.
Mm-hmm.
Among the 4, the Jnani, the last one, is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. So that's where Krishna speaks about it. And then also all devotees undoubtedly magnanimous soul, and but who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider him to be just like one on self. On self means is like my family. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me the highest and most perfect goal. And then the last verse on that section was Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanman Mam Prapadyante Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sahamahatma Sudurlabha. So after many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the causes of all causes, that all that is such a great soul is very rare. So this one was covered by Damodar Hari Prabhu again, and it's a wonderful verse. This is mostly the memorizing verse. And then last class we covered the first section of the verse, I think, which is the fourth section is called demigod worship and impersonalism. So there we were first verse we covered. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigod and follow the particular rules and regulation of worship according to their own natures. So here we covered that before we talked about the verse 7.20, we covered uh, how the Krishna is the source of spiritual and material manifestation. We also discussed about Krishna's expansion as a Balram, then four quadruple expansions, and then for first quadruple expansion going and Sankarsana expanding to Narayan. Again from Narayan happens the second quadruple expansion. From there, the Purusha avatar comes as a material manifestation, where Mahavishnu comes as a Karnodakshai Mahavishnu, and from there innumerable material universes gets come out of his navels or of his pores of each skin, and from each universe the Krishna enters as a Garbhodakshai Vishnu to as a maintainer. And not only maintainer, he takes care of expansion, creation of all these manifestations under each universe is done by Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And then again another expansion happens as a Shirodakshai Vishnu as a Paramatma in the atoms and living entities. That's a Shirodakshai Vishnu as a Paramatma.
Is the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu the god for that universe? Is that how it is?
Individual universe
Individual
is the
version,
god,
right.
and ours is the shortest universe. That's what we discussed last time. And I think Sridhar Prabhu's question was, we discussed about that how we talked about the Dhruva Maharaj story, and I said that Dhruva Maharaj ruled for one Manvantara, and then Prabhu was asking what is the Manvantara and all. So the detailed explanation about the Brahma's day is here, 311 trillion 40 billion years, and which has the 36,000 Brahma lives for 36,000 kalpas. Kalpa is 24 hours of Brahma. And then out of that 12 hours of Brahma, the day of the Brahma is like written here, the length, and then which is 4.32 billion years. And then each kalpa has 14 manvantara, and each manvantara the demigod changes. The position of the demigods is getting replaced by some other living entity. And then in each Manvantara, there are 71 Divya Yuga or Chatur Yuga. And each Divya Yuga has Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And they all combined together is 4.32 million years. And currently we are in Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga is going to be there for 432,000 years total. In total, we have already passed 5,000 years. So another 427,000 years is still yet to go. Yes. And to this time, we are on the 51st year of the Brahma. Brahma is living 100 years. We are on the exactly middle age of his the time, if you want to know the time. And we are on the 28th, I think 27th or 28th Manvantara of the 51st day of the Brahma. And we are right now in the Kali Yuga section. And in the Lord Krishna as an original form descends to the material world once in every one Brahma day. Other Dwapar Yugas, Krishna's expansion from the Vishnu as a avatar that's manifest only in 432 billion years, or you can even say 862 billion years, only once the Swayamrup Sri Krishna appears on the earth planet.
No, 432 times
2, because
2. Okay. Right.
that is, I am calculating as a night.
Right.
As a night time, there is nothing happens. When Brahma is sleeping, the entire manifestation is also sleeping. So if you have planetary systems, so until the only the top loka, Brahma loka, is not under the water, everything else, all the planets are under the water. So manifestation just goes back to the Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Yeah, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and only the Brahma's planet stays there as is.
And Vishnu also, where is it?
Vishnu is beyond that. Vishnu is Garbhodaksha Vishnu is all the way on the top. So not Garbhodaksha, the Shirodaksha Vishnu. Garbhodaksha Vishnu is lying on the water. So that water level increases. It includes the water till the Brahmalok. And then again Brahma's day starts, then water resides, and all the planetary systems get manifested again. So that chakra is going on till the universe, Brahma completes his 100 years.
So that means in every Dwapar Yuga, Krishna would reappear.
Every Dwapar Yuga, Krishna's expansion as a Krishna. So not a original form. So difference between the original form of Krishna and his expansion is the Leela in Vrindavan. So the sweet pastimes of Krishna, some of the sweet pastimes only the Mula Swarup or original form of Krishna can only perform. But other expansions of Krishna, he's mainly performs the Dwarka pastimes or other pastimes in other Dwapar Yugas.
Yeah, but then that keeps repeating every Dwapar Yuga.
Every Dwapar Yuga.
The same thing happens, exactly.
Yes.
Same thing happens?
Not exactly same thing. There are always a mood changes in every Dwapar Yuga. There will be small changes will happen. Okay. So, but lot of cycle is repeating. Lot of experience of the philosophy.
Kamsa would be there and all the same things.
Yeah. So in like Acharya, because I have not enough knowledge, but that's what I heard from Acharyas and preachers is.
Would happen,
yeah, there will be war happen. All these pastimes will also may repeat.
Why is that kind of a thing? I mean, why repetition again and again?
So it may not be Duryodhan, it may be something else. I'm not sure because this is not what I heard quite exactly. But a lot of Krishna's pastimes, like Ram will also appear in Treta Yuga. Now, which Treta Yuga Ram appears? Ram actually, the Lord Ram, who is the Mool Swarup of Lord Ram. So in a actual expansion perspective, when Krishna expands to the Balram, Krishna also expands to the Sri Ram and goes into Ayodhya in the spiritual planet. In spiritual planet, there is also Ayodhya, there is a Vrindavan within a Goloka. So it's a very detail. We'll eventually discuss that detail, but just to give you the answer, Ram, the way it descends, every Treta Yuga, the expansion of the Lord coming from the Shirodaksha Vishnu will appear, except on the 24th Manvantara of the Brahma's day, seventh Manvantara of the 24th Chaturyuga, original Ram will appear. And 27th Chaturyuga, Sri Krishna appears. So that's how the difference. Right? But in this Treta Yuga, there is not an original Swarupa Ram appeared, his expansion appeared.
And all this is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita? Or
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam.
It's not everything, but some are revealed by acharyas, including like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and other acharyas.
Oh, it's not That's
Uh,
mentioned by itself.
the other Chaturyuga's expansion is not directly mentioned, but this Chaturyuga, how it is happening, everything is mentioned here.
Prabhu, for example, Ramayana we have that is from 24th Mahayuga, right?
Yes.
Yeah, uh, got it, Prabhu.
So most of the activities and pastimes will be very much similar. There will be subtle differences will be always there. How the original personality of Godhead will perform those pastimes. And then, if you have any questions, we'll take in the end. Also.
Yeah, sorry.
No. I just want to answer the questions because because we forget, right? Because a lot of content goes through and then we tend to forget. Then we also discussed the demigod. We also talked about that from Brahma appears, and from Brahma he creates rishis, four kumaras, and from there also from rishis the demigod appears. Manu is a son of Manu, or some not son of Manu but son of uh, like Indra, and they were son of just
Kashyap, Prabhu, Kashyap Prajapati.
Kashyap Muni. So Kashyap Prajapati. So from there, all the demigods happens. Now, one will say if demigod permanent or temporary. So as I said that every manvantara demigod position gets replayed. So demigod is a position, one can say. Then how demigod also are living entity like us. They are a devotee of the Lord. They are subordinate of the Lord and they are servant of the Lord. So they are like we have 330 million demigods. They are like Krishna's officers to manage the whole material activities in this material world. And they are also have limited powers to, if somebody comes to them, as per Vedic junction and Vedic scriptures mentions, the people to live in this material world, they have to do some karma. They have to do some activities, and most of the activities goes towards doing home, havan, karma kanda, so that eventually they can elevate themselves to the higher planet. And from there, if they continue their activities, eventually they will elevate themselves to more higher planets eventually. And as they goes to the higher and higher planet, the top planet is the Brahmaloka, Satyaloka. And from there, if they continue doing austerity, eventually the Paramatma will reveal them in their heart and they can surrender them as a part of the bhakti and then eventually go to the spiritual planet. So that is the idea. Why that was a long route given in the Vedic scripture? Because that long route is we came to the material world as our desire to enjoy independent of Krishna. So we got contaminated by our desire, and because of that, our fall down happens into the material manifestation. So same as many of the living entities, but given they have done sukruti, they have done many lifetimes. Like for example, one needs to become an Indra, he has to do 100 Ashwamagya yajna. And that cannot be possible in Kali Yuga. We don't have that lifetime, and we cannot like do the 100 yajna for 100 one mega yajna. You have to get your horse all around the universe to make sure it goes around and nobody stops it. If somebody stops, means he wants to fight with you, and then you have to defeat, and he has to accept you as a king, as a lord of his kingdom, and then that's how it works. So there are many examples that who has completed 100 Ashwamedha Yajna, including the Bali Maharaj. He was on the 100th Yajna, and then there Vishnu comes when he is about to complete his 100th Ashwamedha Yajna. And then Vamandev appears and takes everything away from Bali Maharaj with taking the three steps of the place. One one foot he covers the whole, like earth earth and Swarga Loka, and another one is Patal Loka, and then leg he says, where do I keep this third? And he put it on his head, because that's the only thing is left. Everything else, Vamandev took it over, and then he pushed him into the lower planets. That's where Bali Maharaj is still living there in the lower planets right now,
So
even
I'm kind of
currently.
wondering what. Okay, that's a different.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
get
sure. But please remember your question so we can discuss.
significance of Ashwaya.
The significance was described in the Vedic junctions that Ashwamedha Yagya was being performed like you offer to the Agni, you offer the Yagya to the various demigods. And then the horse was a main reason where everybody should accept you as a king of their kingdom.
Yeah, but so every time the horse is to be the same, or
Yes, the same horse goes
but how
everywhere.
can horse live so long?
Yes, so at that, because that cannot be possible in Kali Yuga, but in other yugas when these Ashwamedha Yagya was performed, the horse life, even human lifetime was 1,000 years in the even a Dwapar Yuga, 10,000 years in the Treta Yuga, and 100,000 years in the Satya Yuga. That's how the lifetime of the each human is. Similarly, the lifetime of the animals is also more in those yugas. And when they will complete the Ashwamedha Yoga, they will complete in few years at the most. They will not take like 100 years to complete one Ashwamedha Yoga because they have to perform 100, then they have to do that many rounds, right? Yeah.
And like, what does it mean by Patal? Like,
So we have 14 planetary systems. I did not capture. Maybe next time you come to clubs, I'll capture that. What are the 14 planetary systems? The last planet out of 14 planet system is called Patala Lok. So Patal Lok is a lok where the punishments to the jiva happens. Now, who gets punished? Living entities only
is
get
it the hell?
punished.
Is that what we call as
Yes,
hell?
yes, hellish planet.
Okay.
Okay. So hellish planets are in Bhagavatam described. I think 28 hellish planets are described, but it says there are innumerable hellish planets. But Sukadeva Goswami says, I'll explain you the main 28 ones. And they describe is in the Bhagavatam, Canto 5th, last chapter. It talks about all hellish planets. It's very wonderful to understand how the whole material world works and how the action reaction works and what are the reaction happens for the bad karma. So this is a very, very deep philosophy there, but I don't want to deviate from that philosophy. It's a very interesting topic. We'll discuss that. I just want to call it out that last week we covered that who are the demigods. They are devotees. They are also subordinate, but they are mainly the living entities. And then they got they are parts of the body of the universal form of God, and they have given a limited power by Krishna. That see, many people when they go for exam, they have to say, oh, go to the Shivji, offer water. Go to the Ganesh, offer some like whatever Ganesh likes, right? Flowers or any prasad. Go to the Devi Mata, Saraswati Mata, offer some flowers, offer some prasad, right? This is very ongoing. I have done that too. Then when we are running into problems, go to the Navagraha, go to the Shani Dev, offer the oil. Go to this devata, go to that Buddha. You wear the a ring or something. There is a khada, like this stone for Buddha, the stone for Guru, the stone for various demigods comes. Oh, you have this Shani Dasha, Shani Mahadasha, Sade Sati, so many things they call it out, and they give in karma as per the Vedic scripture. They gave you different recommendations for different problems as per which demigod rules that kind of issues of the planet. Now many people follow that. I have also followed it. But then is that a right for the bhakti yoga? Following what now I want to open up like Damodari Prabhu also opens up those questions. So why we call it out that is not right for to follow, and what is right for us to follow? Anybody can explain any of your understanding?
The demigods are not permanent, and so instead of praying for non-permanent ones, why not pray for the permanent one, which is for Lord Krishna?
That is wonderful. Yes. Any other understanding from our previous session who has attended, or your own understanding so far? The question, is it clear that why Krishna is saying in the last verse of 720 that we learned that those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto the demigod and follow particular rules and regulation of worship according to their own nature. So I think maybe let me start explaining a little bit. In this verse, we talked about is that Krishna, whoever comes to Krishna, four type of people comes to Krishna, and then there are four type of people does not come to Krishna. So if our desire is to gain a material benefit or temporary relief from our pain, or fulfill our any other material gains desires in this material world so we can live happily, then one wants to take shortcut. Just like similarly, once you go to the doctor identifies that you have, say, high blood pressure or sugar or any other disease, and he will say you take this tablet. Only thing is you need to do is take one tablet a day but eat everything. But now same, if you go from allopathy doctor to the Ayurvedic doctor, he will say you have to follow the certain diet, you have to exercise, you have to change the lifestyle. You'll say, oh my God, he's putting so much on me. I want to do so many other things that lined up for my priority for material attachment, but he's debating me and asking me to follow certain rules and regulations so that I can fix everything myself. But as a living entity, we think, no, I want to take shortcut. I don't have that much time because I'm committed to so many things that I want to do in this life, a very small, limited lifetime. So I want to take only tablet, but the problem with the tablet is it is short term. It will have many side effects. That's okay. As long as I'm not going to die, I can keep taking tablet forever because taking tablet is just a less like 30 seconds time, right? Here, I have to follow the different diet, different things. So I will like, okay, I don't want to do it. So we live in a shortcut life, right? Because I can then do more. I can do more work, more enjoyment. I can go to many places where I can eat everything I want, everything available. I don't have any diet restrictions, so I'm enjoying. I can sit in one place forever. I don't have to exercise because tablet is going to protect me from the disease. That's what we keep believing. Eventually, it doesn't. That's also allopathy says, right? Because there is no permanent cure in the allopathy, right? That's what it says in many, many diseases. Not all, but many, many diseases. Similarly, that's an analogy. Similarly, when living entity prays to the demigod or worships the demigod, there is no permanent benefit. These are all temporary gains. And then we went and explained. So here, when we say is here, uh, so 18th chapter, he says, there is no being exists here or among the demigods in the higher planetary system which are free from those three modes of material nature. So if demigods are not freed from uh, any type of, like, they are not permanent in this material world, so how can they give us a boon which is permanent, which is beyond the material manifestation? So we have also seen some examples here. In the last class, we've seen the examples who worship the demigod from the scriptures, and how their boon was permanent or not permanent. What do get those got benefited? So demons like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, so many demons, they prayed to Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, but then they did not get permanent boon. They only got a temporary boon, and eventually they suffered in the long run. So how they suffered? Because they never come back to Krishna. They never rendered the service, devotional service unto Krishna, and eventually got killed. In the Vedas and Puranas, as mentioned about the demigod worship of various material benefits that we discussed, but one who worships demigod as per the Vedic scripture throughout his life will eventually attain the demigod planet. So, how is that possible? So that's what we'll discuss in the next verse. But I just want to give you a reference that Krishna says in next chapter, 6th verse, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat tante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sadadad bhava bhavitaha. That means whatever state of one being remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So, what does that means to the demigod planets? If one worships sincerely, like one worships Shivji throughout the life, very sincerely as per the Vedic junction, Vedic scriptures, or sincerely worships Ganesha, eventually they will attain those demigod planets. So now there was a question from
Well, I guess
Punya.
it's better than the existing planet, I guess.
Yeah, because as per Vedic junction, if you sincerely follow the Vedic scriptures, eventually you will get slowly elevated. It's like a staircase route. But what Krishna in the Bhakti Yoga explains is the elevator route. Right? So now there was a question Punya Prabhu had was about the Ganpati, right? Now there is a one verse which explains in the Brahma Samhita. This verse is a 5.50 of Brahma Samhita. I'll just read the explanation. Brahmaji says, when he is praying Krishna, I adore the primary Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesh upon the pair of tumuli protruding from his elephant head in order to obtain the power for his function of destroying all the obstacles on the path of progress of the three worlds. So Lord Ganesh derives the power of removing obstacles from the Lord Govinda or our Lord Narsimhadev. Narsimhadev, what we say is, he's the master of removing all obstacles and all problems and protecting the devotees. Now, also another one my wife has told me last week is Krishna also says in Srimad Bhagavatam, the demigod positions when is not filled by any living entities, because as I said, right, for becoming Indra you have to do 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. Similarly, for other demigod positions also there are certain rules of what all one needs to do to get to that position. So those demigod positions, if living entity, suitable living entity is not been selected for that manmantara, then Krishna himself take that position. So in one of the like Prabhuji has said that one of the Puran where Lord Ganesh and Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna was equal, so it is possible. This is just my understanding so far. I am not like 100%, but it is possible also that the Lord Krishna has expanded to take the position of Lord Ganesh in that Manvantara. So that is just one of the understanding could be. And that my wife heard from one of the lectures. So Punya Prabhu, I'm not sure whether that will give you your answers, but yes.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Yes,
And one more point, the sloka, that main sloka that being recited for Lord Ganesha, Shuklam Bharadaram, that
Yes.
also denotes Lord Vishnu prayer.
Yes.
Directly, because from Bharadaram Vishnu,
Yes.
Sheshivarnam Chaturбhujam,
Yes.
Prasanna Vadanam,
Huh.
Sarva Vignopam.
Yes. Yes.
Prabhu, my understanding is reverse also. Ganesha is Vishnu as well. Vishnu is like expanded everywhere. Ganesha can expand anywhere or everywhere. That's like Veda tells that there are 6 forms of God, which are like all can take us out of this material bondage.
Yeah.
Vishnu, Shiva, Ganesha, Mother, and Surya, and Subramanya, Shanmatas. So yeah, like I come from that understanding, Prabhu.
So, Prabhu, why I gave you that detailed understanding last lecture was that I want to explain who is Krishna. Krishna is a Adi. So, in another verse in very first verse of Brahma Samhita, what Brahmaji says is Krishna. Prabhu, read the verse.
Ishvara Parama Krishna
Ananda
Sachidananda
Vigraha
Vigraha
Anadiradir
Anadiradir
Govinda
Govinda
Sarva Karana
Sarva
Karanam. What is the translation says is Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all and he has no other origin and he is a prime cause of all causes. So this Brahmaji himself agrees. Now, when Srimad Bhagavatam was written and Mahabharata was written, when Mahabharata was written, very big scriptures, right? And Lord Ganesha comes to help because Vyasdev wanted to write so much, but he was like feeling tired, but he requested Ganesha to come. And Ganesha helped Vyasdev to write, but on one condition. The moment Vyasdev stops, I will leave everything and go. And then, if Vyasdev wants to do something, he will spin the verse in a way, but he will say, I'll put a condition on you too. I will say the verses, but you have to do it rightfully. That means you have to understand
everything. And
understand
if you
everything.
don't understand it,
Ha,
you should not.
you should not.
So in that way, if he did not understand, he will explain. Meanwhile, he can think.
Yes.
Right?
So he used to get some time.
Yeah.
Now, when Ganesh was writing, even Purana, he always said for Krishna, the Mahabharata Bhagavatam, right? When Krishna's
Is it
when
Mahabharatam or Bhagavatam? Which one?
Bhagavatam,
Mahabharatam, Prabhu.
Mahabharata, correct. So when Krishna's turn comes, he says Bhagwan Uvacha. Never ever in the whole scripture it says Krishna Uvacha. It says Sri Bhagwan Uvacha. Now, when Shivji's turn comes, if Shivji has interacted, Sri Shivaji or Shiva Uvacha, Brahma Uvacha, Indra Uvacha, and then even Ganesh Uvacha may come. Even Ramayana it says that Ganesh Uvacha or Puranas. So they call it individually. But why they call it Bhagwan Uvacha? Because Vyasdev's father, what is his name? Parasharmani, he wrote a scripture, don't remember now name. Huh? Now in that scripture, he puts a definition of Bhagwan. Bhagwan, who is the most beautiful of all, the most powerful of all, the most knowledgeable of all. He is most renounced. He owns everything. That means everything, and he can like he is like a proprietor of everything. And one was renunciation, right? So there are 6 qualities that Bhagwan assumes, and in the whole, all 6 qualities, this is all Krishna has. The most beautiful of all. How is beautiful? By Krishna entering the place. Even a Dwarkavasi, they never seen a Krishna, they got mesmerized. And the mothers who were feeding babies, they left the babies and just going after Krishna. All the old people who are, other people who are helping old parents left them and went behind Krishna as like hypnotized. Gopis, when Krishna's Basuri, even not even looking at Krishna, Krishna's Basuri, they used to drop everything, just go. When they want to hear the Basuri, if they are doing the makeup will go anywhere in the body. The lipstick will go on their forehead or something because they are mesmerized. Krishna's beauty is such a powerful that when he sees, whoever sees that, they forget everything else but Krishna. So then Krishna is a powerful, right? We have seen Krishna in Dwarka or especially Rundan pastimes. He never had a Sudarshan Chakra or never had anything. What he did is 7 days if you put your hand and finger up for even half an hour, just without holding, your hand will start hurting. Think about, if you put even small stone, nobody can hold it. Krishna is holding the Govardhan Parvat, Govardhan mountain Giriraj is a 10 miles wide, 10 miles long. Such a huge Govardhan Parvat at that time. He lifted very easily. He killed all the asuras just by lifting, touching. Putana, he killed at the age of 6 by just putting, like sucking all the breast and killing her. Tranavata, he just hold him like this, died. Then so many demons, he just by touching, they just left the body. Then there is a demon, Agasur. He's like a huge demon with the snake body, and he was like a 10 miles long. When he opened his mouth, he was such a huge that it was like a long, tallest mountain one can see that, and nobody realizes he's a demon. Demigods were afraid. They didn't want to even face him. Krishna just entered because Gopa enters to save the Gopas. He didn't had any plan to kill him yet. But Agasur closes as Krishna enters. Krishna simply little bit expands, puts little bit weight, and Agasur eyes comes out. Everything he just gets. He dies immediately. Then there is a Dhenukasur. Was it Dhenukasur, or there's one last demon he kills, where Krishna's is a very small body. Hands are very delicate. He puts his hand into the mouth of Dhenukasur. First of all, Dhenukasur tries to chew. All his teeth breaks away. And then secondly, Krishna slowly expands his hand, goes to the hands in the throat, and he cannot breathe. And like he will like do it, but his eyes come out. He's like everything is flattering, and he just dies immediately. So these are the Krishnas, how powerful it is. This is just a glimpse. This is glimpse. There is not a real power of Krishna. If you see that whole material manifestation and spiritual manifestation, he could do it just by glimpse. These are nothing. So when we talk about that Krishna, Lord Ganesha, and everybody can give the uh, you know benefit of worship to come out of this material cycle, that maybe the Krishna is expanding in those demigod positions and giving them that ability to do that. Like somebody wants to do a worship of Lord Shiva, they will eventually go to the Kailash planet. From Kailash planets, Kailash says, meditate on Ram, just like me. So eventually you will go to the planet. Because Kailash planet is not into they are in the middle. They are not in the spiritual, not into the material, but in the middle. So hence, this is how Krishna's planets are Vaikuntha Loka, and beyond is completely in the spiritual world. So, Prabhuji, I think Bhagavatam explains very nicely about all these pastimes. So, yeah, I think we'll now talk about our verses here. So, 20th verse, anybody has any questions, then we can discuss. Otherwise, we'll go to the 21st verse. Yeah. Punya Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. 21st, right, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta
Yo yo yam tanum bhaktah
shraddhayarchitumichhati
Tattayarchitumichati
tasya tasya chalam shraddham
tasya tasya chalam shratyam
tam eva vidadhamyaham.
tam eva vidadhyam aham. Prabhu, Sridhar Prabhu, you want to read the translation?
I'm in everyone's heart in the Supersoul. As soon as
One
sorry.
desires
One desires
to worship
to worship.
some
Sorry,
demigod.
you can read
Okay,
that.
I think your eyes. Okay.
As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to the particular deity.
Deity. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So God has given independence to everyone. Therefore, if a person desires to have a material enjoyment and wants very sincerely to have such facility from material demigods, the Supreme Lord, as a supersoul in everyone's hearts, understands and gives the facility to such person. As a Supreme Father of all living entities, he does not interfere with their interdependence, but gives all facilities so that they can fulfill their material desires. Some may ask why all powerful God gives facilities to living entities for enjoying this material world and so lets them fall into the trap of the illusory energy. The answer is that if the Supreme Lord as a supercell does not give such facilities, then there is no meaning of independence. Therefore, he gives everyone a full independence, whatever one likes. But his ultimate instructions we find in Bhagavad Gita, one should give up all other engagement and full surrender unto him. That will make man happy. That is in the 18.66. Sarva dharma parityaja mamekam sharanam raja ham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami masucha. That means abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful direction. Do not fear. So here, like any questions on this verse or any descriptions what Prabhupada is explaining, right? Prabhupada is very clearly saying that every living entity will have free will. Without a free will, if one forces anyone, nobody will like to do this, right? Even for small kids, we tell him, hey, do this. If he doesn't want, he will not do it. He will cry, he will shout, he will push it back. Even if he does it, he will not continually sustain to do it. If Krishna forces every living entity to do devotional love, they will not. They will say, no, I don't want to do it. But when, as a good parent, Krishna keeps saying this, but eventually we go through all the problems and then eventually we go do the course correction. Like kids will say, don't go, there you will fall. No, I want to go, do it, fall. Oh, no, okay, I got hurt. Now I'm not going to go there. My parents are right. Similarly, living entity goes through so many problems in life. Like Madhav Chandran Prabhu nicely explains that living entity, when they leave the body, the knowledge appears to them that what they did in this life and how much papa karma they have done, and they have to go through all the reactions to that. And then once they come back, they keep praying, please give me the human birth again so I can only render the service to you. And they pray so much, so much. Krishna gives one more chance. As the living entity enters the womb of the mother, he still remembers. Sorry, I'm on call, so I just have to accept the pager duty, but they are auto resolved. So
Okay, that's all.
sorry.
Make it out of the
Yes. So when they enter from the womb of the mother to this material world, the shock they get is so humongous, so big that that shock goes into their memory, and then they forget what they had a knowledge about the Krishna consciousness as well as what they promised to Krishna. And they may still remember something till age of 5. But as everybody around them gives them a loving, caring, and protecting, they feel, wow, this is the real world. This is for me. This is like I'm welcomed here. I don't need to cry. I don't need to go through the pain. I'm enjoying around this. And the living entity forgets everything what he promised, what he gone through. And he wants to start everything again. Because he has a desire to enjoy, Krishna gives them forgetfulness. Okay. If you remember, you will not be able to enjoy, but you still have a strong desire to enjoy. So you will get forgetfulness. In 15.15, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matah smrti jnanam apohanam cha. That means from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So Krishna only gives that knowledge. Like someone have more knowledge, less knowledge, where it came from? Krishna. Then one will argue, hey, that's not right. It's not fair that Krishna is equal and he still doesn't give equal knowledge to everyone. He gives knowledge as per one's desire, one's swarupa, one's previous life's karmic reaction. He gives appropriate, so that one person can go into that particular body and sustain and live that lifetime. So Krishna manifests, he gives that much of knowledge only. So next, Prabhuji, Punya Prabhu, you want to read first? I'll give you some online chances.
Yes, Prabhu. Both the living and demigods are subordinate to the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the living entity cannot worship the demigod by his own desire, nor can the demigod bestow any benedictions without the supreme will. As it is said, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, persons who are distressed in the material world to go to the demigods as they are advised in the Vedic literature. A person wanting some particular thing may worship such and such a demigod. For example, a deceased person is rendered the worship to the sun god. A person wanting education may worship the goddess of learning, Saraswati. And a person wanting a beautiful wife may worship goddess Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva. In this way, there are recommendations in the Shastras, Vedic scriptures, for different modes of worship of different demigods. And because a particular living entity wants to enjoy particular material facility, the Lord inspires him with a strong desire to achieve that benediction from the particular demigod. And so he successfully receives the benediction. The particular mode of devotional attitude of the living entity towards a particular type of demigod is also arranged by the Supreme Lord. The demigods cannot infuse the living entities with such an affinity, but because he is the Supreme Lord or the Supersoul who is present in the hearts of all living entities, Krishna gives impetus to man to worship certain demigods. The demigods are actually different parts of universal body of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they have no independence. In the Vedic literature, it is stated the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Supersoul is also present within the heart of the demigod. Therefore, he arranges all he arranges through the demigod to fulfill the desire of the living entity. But both the demigod and the living entity are dependent on the supreme will. They are not independent.
See, this is what also we discussed briefly yesterday, that living entity, demigod or living entity, Paramatma also sits into them, into their heart. And they are not, cannot do anything on their own without sanction from Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So Krishna is a Paramatma. If demigod wants to give a boon, it has to get sanctioned by Lord Krishna as a Paramatma. It cannot be, they cannot give on their own, because nothing moves without a will of the Lord. Because Krishna, the whole Prakriti, without a Krishna, Prakriti cannot be alive. Once the Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters into the Prakriti, Prakriti gets ignited, alive. When Shirodakshai Vishnu goes into each living entity, and then subtle body gets created and he sits with each living entity, then that subtle body comes into the action. Until then, everything is unmanifest and sleeping. So without a will of Paramatma, nothing happens in the material world. That's the final. Now, anybody has any questions on this? Because we discussed much in the past, previous class as well as this class, but I want to open up to ask questions before we go to the next, because this topic we really want to make sure we have good understanding, right? Because there are many times what happens is we get invited to the Ganesh festivals and other festivals and we say no. Some people says, hey, I'm a Krishna devotee, I'm not going to come. But what we say is, when we go to any places where demigod worship happens, we pray that please give me the devotion to the Lord. remove obstacles. If we go to the Ganesh temple, we'll say remove obstacles so I can do the pure devotional service to Krishna. So Prabhupada always recommends that, or even a lot of preacher recommends that going to demigod, do not disrespect them. Number one, they are the better devotees of the Lord. That's why they have been elevated to to help Krishna with managing the material world, as well as they are they are there to, like, you don't want to insult any living entity, including demigod. But when you want to ask for any prayers, like just like a devotee, you please pray for me that I can do better devotional service. So similarly, demigod, you just ask for that. Just please remove obstacles so I can do better devotional service to Krishna. I can put my mind to the Krishna. That's a whole mood. What Prabhupada and his Acharya Parampara, he's been explaining to us. Punya Prabhu or anyone online has any questions on this before we go to the next verse?
If the same Atma lives in everyone, including the demigod,
Huh.
why are demigods above Jiva?
Okay, demigods are empowered function. They are like empowered to perform some actions, like sun god. Sun god is empowered to spread the energy. And now, where that energy comes from? Come from Brahman. What is a Brahman? It's effulgence coming from Krishna's body is called Brahman. The effulgence is a very small thing for Krishna's energy, is a very small thing, but that the Brahman, people see Krishna in a three stages. One is Brahman, second is Paramatma, and third is Krishna as a Bhagwan. So that Brahman's, no, the three different stages of understanding. Just like if you want to understand sun, many people understand sun as a sunlight. There's sun outside, right? But it's light. Some people will have even a higher understanding. No, this sunlight comes from a sun planet, so sun is there. So that is a one more layer higher understanding. So sun, inside the sun planet, there is a personality living called sun, a god. That is the highest understanding for the sun. Similarly, for to understand a Bhagwan from a scripture's perspective, they talk about Brahman. So Brahman is the very initial stage of understanding. That's what Prabhupada explained in the introduction chapter. The three stages of understanding. First is Brahman, and second one is Paramatma, and third is the Bhagwan. So from Brahman, the sun god gets all the energy. Similarly, all demigod gets the energy from Krishna. Now, how they are elevated to us? Because of the previous life Sukruti. As they followed, what it's a next verse, Krishna says, how a living entity goes to the demigod planet. So eventually they did all the Sukruti and Bhakti. Eventually Krishna appointed them to those demigod positions. And that Sukruti is all the good karmas results into enjoying all the benefits of the good karma. Just like in a planets like above us, what I'm seeing in from Bhagavatam or reading that most of the planets there is no old age or disease. What they happen is living entity gets elevated to the higher planets, and once, if it is going for a limited time, whatever he times is completed, he will eventually come to the Earth planet, and he will continue his journey. So higher planets are performing the duties for Krishna to help manage the material manifestation and maintaining, but at some point they will fall down for sure. That's what Prabhupada explains in a few of the purports. So living entity is not going to go into the spiritual planet just like that. They have to go and do the bhakti. Without a bhakti, one cannot reach to Krishna. Yes. Anyone on online has any questions? Shiva Prabhu or Santosh Prabhu, Punya Prabhu, Eva Mataji?
No, Prabhuji. We are good.
Yes, Prabhuji. Mataji, are you able to see the verse 22? Do you want to recite the verse? Are you okay? Comfortable reciting? If you are not, then do you want to recite the verse
I'll try.
22? Yes,
I'll try.
please try. I want everybody to try.
Tataya Shuddhaya Yuktas.
Sataya Shraddhaya Yuktas
Okay. Tasyardhanam tate
Tasyaradhanam miyate
labhate cha tata kaman
Labhate cha tatah kaman
mayava vivitan hitan.
Mayyava vitan vitan.
The way you read it and I read it is completely
No, bro. That's a practice, right? So once you start, then you will make some effort next time and then again do better. So that's where. Mataji, you want to read the translation?
Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod
God
and
obtains
obtains
his
his desires.
desires.
But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone.
The one, yes. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So, Santosh Prabhu, do you want to read next for the purport?
Yes. The demigods cannot award benedictions to their devotees without the permission of the Supreme Lord. The living entity may forget that everything is the property of the Supreme Lord, but the demigods do not forget. So the worship of demigods and achievement of desired results are due not to the demigods but to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by arrangement. The less intelligent living entity does not know this, and therefore he foolishly goes to the demigods for some benefit. But the pure devotee, when in need of something, prays only to the Supreme Lord. Asking for material benefit, however, is not a sign of pure devotee. A living entity goes to the demigods usually because he is mad to fulfill his lust. This happens when something undue is desired by the living entity and Lord himself does not fulfill the desire. In the Chaitanya Charitamrit, it is said that one who worships the Supreme Lord and at the same time desires material enjoyment is contradictory in his desires. Devotional service to the Supreme Lord and worship of a demigod cannot be on the same platform because worship of a demigod is material and devotional service to the Supreme Lord is completely spiritual. For the living entity who desires to return to Godhead, material desires are impediments. A pure devotee of the Lord is therefore not awarded the material benefits desired by less intelligent living entities, who therefore prefer to worship demigods of the material world rather than engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
So there's only one thing that I think about is like
Yes.
even Shaivites, they pray Shiva
Uh,
not necessarily for materialistic purposes, but
Huh.
more as a devotional purpose only.
okay.
So like it doesn't matter who the demigod is,
Hmm.
it's still like God for them.
So,
Because that is what their God is.
hmm.
They pray for that particular
Yes.
God. Not everyone prays
Correct,
in terms
correct,
of materialistic things.
Material restrictions.
So that is still a good thing.
So, Prabhuji, if we understand Lord Shiva's position, Lord Shiva is expansion of Vishnu himself, right? So, Lord Shiva is a very special tattva, as we discussed many times. He's, though Prabhupada keeps him in a demigod category, and there is a reason for that, right? Because if you see, Lord Shiva is Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu. In the 12th canto of Bhagavatam, I think very last chapter, where Shukadev Goswami talks about who are the best in each. So in Vaishnava, Shambhu is the highest of all Vaishnavas. Now, Prabhupada says as he is not a Krishna himself, he wants to distinguish the Lord Shiva compared to the original personality of Godhead. The Swayam Rupa Adi Purusha. Adi Purusha is who is a self born. I mean, he's just there. He's the first one across all the manifestation. And from there, all the expansion happened, and eventually, before the Purusha avatar, Shambhu appeared, or Sadashiva appeared. So he wants to see that position of where the Lord Krishna is and where the Sadashiva is. Sadashiv is actually the parallel expansion of, if you see the expansion chart here, he is a parallel expansion to the Mahavishnu, you can say, or a Sadashiv, you can say, is a Sankirshan. One of this, one of this, one can say that he is a Sadashiv. And from Sadashiv, each material manifestation, Shivji comes as a form. But how the Shivji appears? He appears from the eye of the Brahma. From eye of the Brahma, right? It's a door. That's a door entry. It's like, though Brahma is his father, but it is in reality, Shivji's position is much higher than Brahmaji. Of course, the Shastra also talks about it. But Krishna, he's eventually just like, if you, Prabhupada gives examples of milk and yogurt, just like Shiva Tattva, let's explain like that. Vishnu Tattva is like a milk. And then once you put the lemon juice into the hot milk, it will eventually, no, not lemon juice, sorry, that's a paneer. Similarly, but analogy, once you put another tinge of ignorance into, as if you are putting another dahi or yogurt to mix up and put it into the oven for like an 15 minutes, and then overnight it becomes a yogurt. Now that process, now what happens is milk can become yogurt, but yogurt can never become milk. So Prabhupada explains the analogies. Vishnu Tattva can transform into Shiva Tattva, and eventually got transformed into Shivji. But Shivji cannot transform into the Vishnu Tattva, because Vishnu Tattva is the original Tattva, or Krishna Tattva is the original Tattva. From Krishna happens the Purusha avatar as Vishnu. Purusha avatars are Vishnu Tattva. But original is Vishnu Tattva, Krishna Tattva. Sorry, Krishna Tattva is original.
So I think the question was like they can also pray without asking for material benefit.
Yeah, so they will go, their whole point is going to the Vishnu, Shiva Lok. If they pray to the Shivji, now once we understand this, they go to the Shivji, they will eventually go to the Shiva Lok.
But that's temporary.
They will go to the Shiva Lok and they stay there forever. I'm not saying that. It's not. The Shiva Lok, because I said Shiva Lok is beyond the material manifestation, so they will eventually escape this route. They will go to the Shiva Lok. Now Shivji's job is to make sure they do the bhakti of Ram to go to the spiritual planet. Because what Shivji does, Shivji only meditates on Ram.
And I gave Shiva as an example.
Yes.
But it could be Durga Devi. It could be
Yeah. So
Devi.
other planets,
Some-
yeah, Shivji is different, but other planets are temporary planets in this material manifestation. All like Indraloka, all other demigod planets.
30 million.
Yes, they are all temporary, except Shivji, Kailas, all other planets are part of this attached to the material manifestation. When manifestation is over, this planet get destroyed altogether. So whenever one goes to the, say, Surya Lok, if you are doing a Surya Tapasya, Surya Lok, they may encourage you to do more bhakti to Krishna or Vishnu or Narayan. But if one wants to go and enjoy there, he will eventually fall immediately, I mean, after the completion of whatever the time he is going to spend. So, but if he wants to elevate, he will go to the higher planets like Maharloka, then Satyaloka and other Janaloka, Tapaloka. There are first four planets are higher planets where all the Rishimini and great devotees and saintly people stay there to do the bhakti.
So when you even think of the Lord all through,
Yeah.
and do the japa and all that, you can go to higher planet but not directly to Krishna, right? Is that true?
Yes, that's what Prabhu was telling.
So-
Staircase, right?
So it has always to be.
So
staircase.
are you saying that
Never like
japa
it.
means which japa you are talking about?
I mean, like Hare Rama, Hare Krishna.
So Hare Rama, Hare Krishna is a Mahamantra.
Mahamantra. Yeah, you
Right.
sing that Mahamantra.
So when you sing the Mahamantra,
Uh-huh.
the effect of Mahamantra is It kills all your punya karma and papa karma of previous lives.
Okay.
And gives you opportunity to start your bhakti. Bhakti Vijalata is appeared in your heart. And then you go through the bhakti process. It's a very detailed explanation. We'll read that later in different books. But if you are doing a Surya Dev mantra or other mantras, you will not elevate eventually yet, because you have to follow the certain rules,
Yeah,
regulations.
but in this case of doing Mahamantra,
Mahamantra.
would you directly take into
Correct.
Krishna?
Yeah, you will get in the elevator.
Still have to go to the staircase.
No, you will not go to the staircase. Mahamantra is an elevator ride. The Mahamantra is part of the devotional service. Rendering a devotional service to Krishna, Krishna says, you will eventually come to me. So in the verse 8.4,
You remember all these numbers?
no, Prabhu, I'm just.
Famous verses they will remember. Because
So, Antakale cha mameva smarana mukta kalevaram. Yes, sir, ya prayati samadbhava yati nastraya shanshaya. And whoever at the end of his life, with his body, remembering me alone,
Right.
at once attain my nature of this, there is no doubt. There is a guarantee from Krishna. If God himself gives a guarantee, there is no doubt about it, then why we should question that? We should only question whether I need to give a faith to this scripture or not. That's the only question. Krishna has said there is no doubt about it from my side. So Acharya explains that many times we experience so much pain in this material world because Maya is challenging. Moment you go away from Maya, she is going to challenge you. If you are part of the Maya, you are doing only the karma, what is assigned to you, she will let you do that, because you will engage in this. Moment you go to the Krishna, one is, there are two reasons, right? She may, if you are not sure, you will get pulled into Maya again back. If your bhakti is very strong, she will test you so that you will go even quicker. Go quicker to the Krishna. How? I'm getting a problem. I'll start thinking more about Krishna now. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu, Jagatpate, please, save me. I don't have anybody else in this world to depend on you except you. Just like Kunti Maharani, just like Arjuna's the daughter-in-law, what is her name? Uttara. He went to the Krishna himself. Just like Kunti Maharani. She says, Krishna, give me all the. She asks Krishna. Krishna says, what boon do you want? What do you want from me? She says, give me all the unhappiness, sorrows, all the problems in the world. Give it to me only. I don't want anything else. So that every problem, I always remember you and you always comes to help me. So you will be always close to me. I don't want to lose you.
That's Kunti who said.
That's prayers. We'll eventually read that too at some point, but yes. So the power of that Krishna Bhakti. That Gopi, when they wanted to see Krishna, they don't want to see anyone else. Not their husband, nothing. All the Vrindavan saint, lot of saint, they want to see Krishna. Krishna gives a glimpse and disappears. And that glimpse takes their whole life. They think about that and that's it. Their mind and everything is occupied with that. Moment of that 1 second or 10 seconds glimpse is like that repeats over and over. Where is my Krishna? Where is my Krishna? Where can I find it? And keep crying. You gave me darshan, but now where did you go? I cannot live without you. Like that agony, lot of devotees lives. And that agony takes them even more closer to Krishna, because that is burning their material desires quickly, that burning all the papa karma and everything they gets purified, and then Krishna pulls them up. Come now. You are completely purified. And I love you as much as you love me, or I love you more than you love me. So please come to me. Punya Prabhu or Balu Prabhu, Shiva Prabhu, any Balu Prabhu left, but Santosh Prabhu, Hima Mataji, any questions, any discussion points? So, I mean, I know, Prabhu, Punya Prabhu, please, yeah, if you still have doubts, we can discuss.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. I will discuss maybe in person.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, text 23. Do you want to read? Are you able to read Sanskrit verses, Prabhu?
I have, yeah, I will try.
Prabhu will try here, Prabhu, Punya Prabhu, wait.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Antavat
Antavattu phalam tesham. Antavattu phalam tesham.
Tadvat
Tadbhavate
Tadbhavate
alpa medasham. Tadbhavate alpa medasham.
Devan Devyajo Yanti
Devan devayajo yanti.
Ma
Madbhakta.
Yanti Mamate.
Madbhakta yanti mamapi. Punya Prabhu, please read the translation.
Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet.
Yes.
My question answered.
Many questions comes, and Krishna has addressed that in the next verses also.
Okay.
That happens many times to me also. So Shiva Prabhu, please read the purport. The Shiva Prabhu online.
Yes, Prabhuji. I joined in the phone.
Okay. If you have problem, then our Shiva Prabhu will read here. Don't worry.
So,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Bhagavad Gita say that one who worships a demigod can reach Supreme Lord. But here it is clearly stated that worshippers of demigods go to the different planetary systems where various demigods are situated. Just as a worshipper of sun achieves the sun, or a worshipper of demigod of the moon achieves the moon. Similarly, if anyone wants to worship a demigod like Indra, he can attain the particular god's planet. It's not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worshipped, will reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is denied here. For it is clearly stated that worshippers of demigod go to different planets in the material world, but the devotee of Supreme Lord goes directly to the Supreme Planet of Personality of Godhead.
See, so this is what we have discussed.
Right. So every demigod has their own planet?
Yes, just like sun planet,
No,
Surya
but we are
Dev.
talking about only 14 planets. But we
No,
talk
no.
about
So when we say 14 planet, they are the main planets. They are like bigger planets.
Right.
Like our Prithvi is not a planet from 14 planet perspective. There's a Bhumandala, right? Bhumandala is there's a part of the Bhuloka. Bhuloka is the main planet, right? Or it calls a Bhumandala. And then for Bhumandala, then there is divided into 7 pieces. And one of the 7 pieces is again divided into 7 more pieces, and Prithvi is part of that piece. So out of the Bhumandala, we are the very tiny piece. So in the, I think I should have remembered that. Next time I'll bring that whole chart, how the whole thing works. But we are a very small piece, and it's surrounded by a salt ocean. There are other planets we are surrounded by in the Bhumandala itself, remaining property or land or planets, planetary systems, part of the planetary systems or subplanets, they are covered and they're enjoying. Like these people all living in these lives 10,000 years there, and they're enjoying there, and they come back to the earth planet eventually to do the bhakti, because they still worship there, but that does not achieve them to the spiritual planets. They can either elevate them or come back to the earth planet. So other planets has like sugarcane, ghee ocean, sugarcane ocean, like that. So their beautiful description in Srimad Bhagavatam talks about even Bhumandala, other subplanets, how they are. Like if they have one big tree, one fruit falls, it will like one mango fruit falls, and it's a huge fruit falls. Then one river gets created. The juice of mango juice river gets created, and just drinking that one can fulfill his all hunger and everything. So those planet description is in Srimad Bhagavatam. So one may say, oh, we are the one of the
Are
seven
these all
planets.
stories or reality?
It's a reality. It's just that we do not have a way to reach there. Because to reach to other
But it's
planets,
so what do you call fictional? It's all. I mean, like I can think of something, and I mean, that's how it feels like, right? But
I
that's
also
why
thought
I
about
can
that.
understand. But I'm saying for a person like me
So
and for
the universe is a 4 billion miles times 4 billion miles, right? Diameter.
oh, is it?
Our universe, the smallest universe, is 4 billion miles. How many million miles we have traveled so far? We have.
Are you kidding me?
So the analogy is the one person living in the village of India. If somebody tells him that America is like this, the roads are so nice, the bridges are huge, everybody goes in car, he's never seen a car. He will say, "Hey, is it real or fiction? I only saw the movie. I didn't see the reality." Similarly, one who believes Shastra is a real, then he can shoot through Shastra Chakshu. That what is it? Because we haven't seen Krishna. We haven't seen many more things. But we can see everything from Shastra, Guru, and Saint. So these are the three people is our eyes to follow our spirituality path. Spirituality path otherwise is like an illusion, like a mirage. This is water in this, but there's nothing. It is like that. Or mental speculation will happen. Oh, Bhagavad Gita, let me read this verse. These demigod, they are not talking about Indra and all this. So they may be talking about this Chaksha and Yaksha and so many other things. Not the main demigods, right? Anybody can make any mental speculation out of it. That's why Prabhupada explains so nicely about what this really means.
But Prabhu, like as you rightly told about a doubt, Krishna never defines a demigod. This is like a purport of Prabhupada that Saraswati he treats as a demigod, or Durga he treats as a demigod. It could be like a misinterpretation as well, right, Prabhu? If it is not consistent with the rest of the Veda. Like, for example, when Adi Shankara came, there are very similar misinterpretations were there. There was only Shiva, there was only Vishnu, there was only
Correct,
Mata.
correct, correct.
He actually tried to unify,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think this could also be a misinterpretation, possibly.
Prabhu, in many verses, you even Puranas and Vedas, it explains that Deva is defined as a category for the demigods.
Daiva.
Devatas. Yeah.
Devatas, right?
Mhm.
So that includes all the Uber category level is Devata. Now, like Shivji is called Mahadev. Mahadev means he is the greatest of all Dev. Hmm? And Vishnu avatar is called Bhagavan. They are not, we don't categorize the Vishnu Tattva or Narayan Tattva as a Devata. We call it Bhagwan. But some may say, oh, they are still Devata. Oh, but the Shakti and Shaktiman. Krishna's empowered incarnations are Devata. If you say empowered means he has given them a power to execute the functionality of like Indradev, the clouds, and giving the rain. Sun god is giving the sunlight. Moon god giving the fructifications to the all this. So various aspect of every demigod has a various functionality to perform. Who gives that power? Krishna gives. So they are a Shakti Avesha Avatar, means Shakti expansion of Krishna. So in that perspective, if you see, Krishna is a Shaktiman and everything around is Shakti. So Krishna is the original and everything, he is the causes of all causes. That is also Brahma Samhita says that. One may say, oh, Brahma is still, but Brahma, people say Brahma is the originator or first creator of this universe. Though we understand from our scriptures, he's a secondary creator, not the first creator. Right?
Prabhu, if I can interject there,
Hmm.
when you said Brahma Samhita or Puranas, I feel like Prabhupada only referred one or two references. For example, we have 18 Mahapuranas that Vyasdev gave. One of the Purana is Shiva Mahapurana. Other Purana is Devi Mahapuranam.
Yes, you are.
I feel like he may not have referred to them or assimilated those forms For example, in the Devi Purana,
Mhm.
Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, all three goes to Devi's place without
Mhm.
their will. Like Devi calls to them, calls to her, and explains what functions they have to do. I feel like that is not assimilated into the commentary provided by Sri
So,
Prabhupada.
Prabhu, you have good questions. I think I have asked those questions to our Madhav Chandra Prabhu, our previous teacher, and the way he mentions is so there are like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Okay, so I think in Srimad Bhagavatam also explains that the Vishnus are two types. One, the Purusha avatar is Vishnu is different. Then the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh functionalities perform. The in that the Vishnu, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the actual the Vishnu who is going. So under the Brahma, under the Shirodakshay Vishnu or under the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, there is one more Vishnu works that has not been deeply described in the Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, because this Vishnu performs as a Tridev avatar. Tridev is what Madhavchandra Prabhu explained to me is, because I yet to refer to the verses, but I'll ask him about the on the verses on that. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, once it is mentioned that there is a Vishnu who acts on behalf of the Garbhodaksha Vishnu to maintain the material world as a living entity. Okay. So that Vishnu forms a Tridev, not the Shirodashai Vishnu. That Vishnu will act as a subordinate sometimes to the other powers like Maya Devi, Durga Mata, or Ganeshji, or sometimes Shivji. Depends on the Manvantara. Some Manvantara, they do the different pastimes. So in Ganesh Purana, Ganesh has been given the highest power in terms of all his pastimes. So Ganesh becomes the superpower in the Ganesh Purana. Shiv Purana, Shivji becomes the superpower. And then Devi Purana, then Durga Mata will become power where everybody will go. Then people will question, wait, what is this? Is this true, or this is true, or this is true? So different manvantara, different pastimes has happened, and different deliverables has happened. So based on the manvantara, the when pastime happens, one may question that in even like Prabhu asked questions, right? Ram in the Setu Rameshwar, he has put the Shivji and he worshipped to the Shivji, right? What is this then? He's we are saying that we should not worship the demigod, but he worshipped the demigod in that sense. Then no, Ramji only says, "Hey Shivji." Inside the internal prayers, what Acharya says that Ramji is pleasing the Shivji, though he is a devotee, is pleasing them, saying internally, you are pleasing your devotee as a Ravan, but he is doing this. Please accept my offerings and correct him. If you cannot correct, I'll correct him and finish him. So he gives opportunities to his devotee. That's the internalization. But it is not explicitly written. Why? Because they still want to believe that Ram, intention of Ram was to do the Purusha avatar, how one should live as a human being. So that was the whole intention. So
I just wanted to add.
that will get debated if they explain all the internal intricacies of the heart.
Yeah, I just wanted to add.
Yeah.
I think Krishna, or like Krishna's all avatars have this special affection towards Shivji. If you see Mahabharatam as well,
Yes,
Krishna
yes,
also does a lot of penance for Shiva.
yes, yes. He offers his
He
eyes
goes to
also.
Upamanyu Prabhu. Yes, he offers his eyes also. One of the lotus, when it gets missing, he is
Yes,
lotus eyed, so he plucks a eye. So they
correct.
keep showing that they both are one and they are devotee of one another. But we keep distinguishing. I feel it's not well reconciled, but I could
So
be wrong. So
yeah, Prabhu. The reason I'm saying that milk and yogurt cannot be milk yogurt can be made from milk, but
Not
milk
really.
cannot be made from yogurt. Similarly,
but you said Krishna is milk, but what if someone thinks Shiva is milk?
yeah, so that's why you have to understand the scripture. The last scripture, Vyasdev written is Srimad Bhagavatam. He wrote all the scriptures, but he was still not satisfied. Then, on the instruction of Narayan, Naradji comes. Naradji becomes his guru and he instructs him to talk about Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's positions, and Krishna's devotional service. And he writes the Srimad Bhagavatam as the only last scriptures, and then he becomes happy. Then he prays to Shivji that these scriptures only can be described by the purest devotee who doesn't have any tinge of material things. Then it can be only you. That's why he prays to the Shivji, and Shivji comes in form of Shukadev Goswami. He stays in the womb for 16 years in the womb of mother, Shukadev Goswami. Doesn't want to come out because I will get impacted by this material Maya. I don't want to come. Then Krishna goes in his womb of his Vasudev's wife and says, I promise you have my blessings. You will not get impacted. You will be always above these modes of material nature. Please come out. And that's how Shukdev appears on this earth planet.
Chaitanya.
Huh?
Chaitanya, who's that?
Shukadev Goswami,
Shukadeva.
who is the first preacher of the Srimad Bhagavatam, who's
Huh.
been who told Srimad Bhagavatam Katha from his mouth very first time.
Huh.
So, Prabhu, there are, if you believe that, like many Vaishnava Acharya says, that the scriptures in the Srimad Bhagavatam, or sorry, scriptures in the Kali Yuga one should follow. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam are the most prominent scriptures, which is aligned to the Kali Yuga. Other Puranas and all Kathas are meaning one should divert towards the bhakti. One can still do the bhakti of the demigod or Shivji or Mata. We don't question that. We only say the distinguish between you want to go to the Goloka or you want to go to the demigod planets. One should make that decision very clear in their mind. One can, if one gives that illusion or that differentiation, and they will say, I'll do the Ganesh Bhakti and I'm still fine. Sure, they can still go ahead. But what I learned from Acharya is one should first take one goal and drive to the full. If you take many goals, they go into all different directions. You will never reach any place. You will just try to balance between this and being in the same place because everybody is trying to pull you this direction, this direction, this direction, this. Earlier in the past, when I was small, I used to do uh, Hanuman Chalisa, Devi's Chalisa, then all the demigods, Shani's Mahamantra, this Mahamantra, that mantra, like full 1 hour. I'm doing all the demigods mantra, then also Krishna mantra. Because if I don't have faith in Krishna, then I'll go to the demigods too. If I don't have faith in Shiva, then I'll go to other demigods, like that. I'm not saying, Prabhuji, that whoever does Shiv Bhakta, they are wrong. But what Krishna is saying is that's not the highest intelligence.
Yeah, sure. Prabhu. I think I align with the last word you mentioned. Whenever, in fact, I would put it this way, Prabhu. When we go to other devatas, I treat them as my Ishta Devata. Like for example, Ganesha is my Ishta Devata. Krishna is also Ganesha for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
So, Prabhu, yeah, we'll come to that too. But only one point I want to add is whenever, like I talked to Madhav Chandra Prabhu also, he said, when you go and go to the Devata, like even Vrindavan, the very first thing I go is take the darshan of Gopeshwar Mahadev. Without their permission, don't want to take darshan of anything because he is a god.
God.
He is the god. Wherever Krishna is there, Mahadev will be there around. To be
Kshatrapalaka, Prabhu, you're
Yeah,
talking about.
Kshetrapal. Yeah, that's a right word.
Yes,
Correct.
yes,
So Kshetrapalak. So you take a
yes,
permission so that you enter to the Krishna Bhakti and take the darshan. Then
yes, yes,
he will bless you. Then
yes.
go ahead. Like Pracheta, there is a very wonderful story of Pracheta. Pracheta wanted to do the prayers for Narayan. Then Shiva appears and he says, please, I am so pleased that you are going and devoting my Lord. And very wonderful prayers. I'll give you the some references next class of what Pracheta is all about and how Lord Shiva helps them. It was very wonderful.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So I think we did not finish this purport. Let's finish it and then we'll call it out.
Here the point may be raised that if the demigods are different parts of the body of Supreme Lord, then the same end should be achieved by worshipping them. However, worshippers of the demigods are less intelligent because they don't know to what part of the body food must be supplied. Some of them are so foolish that they claim that there are many parts and many ways to supply food. This is not very stringent. Can anyone supply food to the body through the ears or eyes? They do not know that these demigods are different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord, and in their ignorance, they believe that each and every demigod is a separate god and a competitor of the Supreme Lord.
No.
Not only are the demigods parts of the Supreme Lord, but ordinary living entities are also. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that Brahmanas are head of the Supreme Lord, Kshatriyas are his arms, Vaishnavas are his waist, and the Sudras are his legs, and all serve different functions. Regardless of the situation, if one knows that both the demigods and he himself are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, his knowledge is perfect. But if he does not understand this, he achieves different planets where the demigods reside. This is not the same destination the devotee reaches.
See, so it's clearly explains the differentiation, and reason is differentiation. We have to set our goal where we want to lead to. If we are set our goals into too many different places, then we don't have one goal for life. Then will happen is it will happen chaos, or it will not be a right understanding. Then we will not have right faith, even for the demigod or even for Krishna. Then we'll be in the various boats riding at the same time, and boats are going in all different directions. Eventually, you will fall into the material pool again. Or Krishna, he says, right? Eventually, you will achieve the different planets of the demigod. So one should think where, right? I want to do the bhakti, and here is the reason. If one is not clear, sure, he can, whatever his heart says, that I want to worship this demigod. Like Prabhupada never questions that worshipping demigod is like lowest, but he says less intelligent than worshipping Krishna. We never criticize demigods because they are the devotees of the Lord. We never criticize Lord Shiva because he's the greatest Vaishnava of Lords, right? So never. But we also never criticize their devotees because whatever the desire one will have, he should go and follow that desire with right understanding, right knowledge. But one wants to come out and have perfect goal of the life, which is eventually to reach to the Krishna planet, then one should follow the path of the bhakti, what Krishna explains.
About some demigods, so the disadvantages will fall back on this planet and
Yes.
get into the world again.
Yes.
And again, we'll go through the same journey.
Correct, Mataji. So Mataji's question was whether if we follow the demigods, then we'll again fall back again after the boon is complete, and that then we'll again go through the life and death cycle again. So Prabhupada also given that answer that all the demigod boons are short-lived. So for example,
it's an elevator. I'm sorry, it's a staircase, right? So from that particular planet, you can again go further up.
yes, Mataji. So yes, Prabhu is saying that if you followed, say for example, one follows the Surya Dev. He does a lot every day. He will do the Achman and Surya Dev's offering water and everything. And if he does every day, no matter what, and he only worships and he recites Surya mantra and as per the Vedic scriptures, he follows and he remembers Surya Dev at the end of the life, he will eventually achieve the Surya planet. It's like yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, right? That's a verse. But if one only does same thing for Krishna, he will achieve Krishna planet. If one same thing does for Shivji, achieves Shiv planet. But if one does the demigod worship temporary, just to get a temporary gain, then Prabhupada also explained that achieving demigod planet may not be the destination for that person. Okay, just like I'm going into the exam. My mom says, and just pay obeisance to Saraswati Mata and give me some memory intelligence. I go and then do it. Oh, I got a first class. Good, good, good. Now next day, oh, at the exam time, I'll come back to you, okay? Now stay here. So those people are very temporary in nature. So those are a different category altogether. Here, I think most of the Purna Prabhu and our discussion is on serious devotees who are worshipping demigods like Lord Shiva, Vishnu, Durga Mata, or any other Ganesha, other what Srila Prabhupada calls out demigod category, are the category who are serious devotees. Like Prabhu also said, right? They don't have any tinge of material gain. So they will eventually reach to their planet first. And are these planets are permanent? Like Shivaji's planet is more permanent than the other demigods because Shiva Tattva is very different. Eventually, he's a Vishnu Tattva, but in a material expansion wise.
But the point again is, even if you go to other planets,
Yes.
not Shiva or Vishnu,
Yeah.
you can still do bhakti yoga or whatever and
Yes.
go up further.
Yeah.
You
See,
don't have to come back
those,
again.
so there is a caveat, right? Other planets, you get a lot of enjoyment, comfort. When you get a comfort, because you came from a lot of pain, you get a comfort, you will like to enjoy the comfort more and more. You tend not to do the bhakti because bhakti happens when you got artho, where you were disturbed, discomfort, right? You started doing bhakti. For Jnani, people who develop the right knowledge, because you go into the material, these demigod planets, what was the knowledge? This is my demigod. Now you have to relearn that knowledge that you have to do the bhakti for Krishna. So that is even more difficult there because the comfort is way too higher and you don't have any distress. You don't have old age disease problem there. So you will know the tendency of doing bhakti chances are not very high compared to these planets. But in Shiv planet, Shivji makes sure that everybody is doing tapasya, meditation.
The reason probably those who worship Shivji, they also consider that the way Prabhuji was also saying, because the point Shivji says is also kind of meditation only. So maybe they don't directly reach Krishna, but they also become meditate strongly for going that path only of devotion.
Yes, yes, yes. And Krishna also says that he supports that path. He makes that path available to those devotees. He will never say, "Oh, you are doing demigod devotees. I will not give you any material gains, material benefit because I'm the one. Without my will, nothing happens. So why should I give you?" No. He will make sure that particular desire is fulfilled. So, so any other question? I think it's a 6 o'clock. I don't want to get beyond. It's a great questions. I really want to continue, but everybody has their restrictions of going, living and doing other our life duties. But Punya Prabhu, if you have more questions, please let me know.
No, not let you know. Let's have discussion.
Punya Prabhu, if you have more questions, Prabhu wants to discuss, but yes.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. So these discussions can take forever. So,
I know.
I think we should have our faith and firm on it.
Correct.
Yes,
Absolutely,
and
Prabhu.
I agree, Prabhu. Bhagavad Gita is the book, if we have to say.
Yes,
Like entire all of the paths agree on that, I believe.
yes, Prabhu. So it's like Prabhupada says, right, in the introduction verse also, you have to first, without any thinking, if you accept Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead,
At least theoretically also.
theoretically,
At
yes,
least,
absolutely, that's the correct word. Then you can understand the Bhagavad
approach
Gita
it.
the way Arjuna is understanding, right?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, being with me here and giving me opportunity to serve. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'll just stop the recording.
Hare Krishna.